Hey, what's up, students? Let's solve the Zesty Music Festy. Solve for x. All right, so we have a quadratic here. We could probably solve for the x squared. Let's get rid of all the extra stuff, and then remember right at the end to solve for the x squared, you want a square root. So here we go. I'm going to do my line here. I'm going to subtract the 352 from both sides. Minus 352. Okay, we go. Rewrite. We're going to have a negative 5.5 x squared equals negative 352. At first you're like, hey, you can't have a negative square root. We're not done yet, so be careful. Divide both sides by a negative 5.5. Let's see what we get here. Negative 5.5 divide u. Ooh, look at that, the negatives cancel, good for us. X squared is going to equal 64. Well, lucky us. Now, we've talked about this before in class. If you have x plus 2 equals, let's make it up, 10. The opposite of plus 2 is minus 2, so you would subtract 2 from both sides. Much like if you had 2x equals 10, the opposite of times 2 is divide by 2. Okay, that's how you would cancel. Plus and minus cancel each other. Multiplication, division cancel each other. Now, what cancels a second power? A square root does. Okay. Now, the thing that's weird about square roots is technically there's two numbers that satisfy this equation. There is the positive and negative square root of 64. Both of them work. Now, the square root of 64 is actually 8, so our solutions are going to be negative 8 and 8. The reason a positive and a negative work is squares are pretty interesting in that two negatives cancel. So not only does 8 squared make 64, but negative 8 completely squared correctly. I guess you could put them in brackets here too. Remember, when you square a negative, you got to use brackets. That's the proper way to do it. So both 8 squared and negative 8 squared will make 64. So when you square root at the end, you're going to get two answers. Make sure you give them both. I think how much you have the negative first and then the positive. But if you were to write these on paper, you can just say plus and minus 8. But that's not really easy to type in Schoology. So that's it for the Zesty Music Festy. One step, two step, and then square root at the end. Make sure you have your two answers. All right, see you in class.